Joining us now with stories trending around the world is Anieze Osakwe.
Yes.
Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo and Rufai. Good to be with all of you, as always.
Yeah, good to have you.
And good morning to everyone out there. Thank you all for starting your day with us. We begin what's trending with some breaking news video we're getting right as we were coming on air of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, arriving at the airport in Abuja. Both of them on their way to the UK for that historic UK state visit. We see them there in the video that we just got. This is Nigeria's first in 37 years with the goal of strengthening both countries' ties on all fronts, from immigration to trade, investment, culture. The President and the First Lady are expected to land this afternoon, with the President's Special Advisor, Bayo Onanuga, releasing a statement Monday regarding some of the trip's highlights. One, the King and the President will hold private discussions regarding interfaith dialogue. Two, President Tinubu will witness the signing of a £746 million deal between the UK and Nigeria's ports to revamp the Lagos port in Apapa and Tinkan Island. And three, of course, there will be a state banquet. Now, Nigeria and the UK are inextricably linked, and this state visit happening at this moment is significant for the president, for his administration, and for its legacy. What's also notable in all of this are the members of the administration that the president selected to go with him on this trip. You have Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Minister of Solid Minerals Dele Alake, Minister of Finance Wale Edu. I mean, the list goes on, and you're seeing some of the people who will be on this trip with him. I think even the governor of Zamfara State was invited on this trip. And Dr. Abati, I'll start with you, because it's interesting to see this critical mass, and it's almost a game or a question of who's in and who's out.
I know he's left behind at home.
Exactly, and who's here?
Who they show?
Who didn't make the cut?
Anyway, I mean, we had said all the things about how this is important at the level of the historic connection between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. The Britain, having been our former colonial, well, I don't want to use the word master, but who used to be a colony of the United of Britain. Now, also at the level of symbolism, in terms of the timing and all of that, it's good to see both countries maintaining this historical ties, and then that this is not just about ceremony, it's also about bilateral relations in the areas of immigration, security, education, health. Nigeria has been a major beneficiary of the DFID, programs, over the years, and other initiatives, cultural exchanges, and all that. And then, of course, we have a huge population of Nigerians in the United Kingdom. I think Nigerian students are the ones who, more than any other persons from anywhere else in the world, who help to sustain the international education system in the United Kingdom. Many Nigerians would naturally want to send their children to the United Kingdom. So there's this strong relationship, not to even talk of the fact that Nigerian culture is also well entrenched in the UK. We were talking off camera about how there's no Nigerian food that you cannot get in the UK. Nigerian restaurants, Nigerian festivals. I think we even have Nigerian Day.
Yes, we do.
When Nigerians come out and celebrate. So there's that strong connection, and this we just further promoted. And it probably also explains, as Professor Osai, the Director General of the NIA, was saying, the large number of delegates going with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because I counted that list you were reading, about 10 ministers, about 2 major security chiefs, or 3 or so, all of them going to the UK. And of course, all these persons will also go with their own assistants.
Right.
The assistants will go with their own assistants, So, but we hope that this will not be a jamboree. It will not be a shopping opportunity for members of the delegation that there will be concrete outcomes, in the various areas that they have identified.
Yes.
There is the MOU that will be signed, for example, the agreement in relation to the ports in Lagos, Apapa Port, Tinkan Port. But we have also said the focus should not just be the ports in Lagos. Nigeria needs to develop its ports infrastructure, to the extent that the focus will not be on Lagos alone. There was some controversy at the time when the government was talking about, developing other ports in Nigeria. So all of that would look very good, and at a personal level. I made a point about personal diplomacy. That it's also some kind of personal achievement that Nigeria administration is being recognized at this time when the opposition at home is so critical.
Right.
But beyond the trip to Windsor Castle and all the other, meetings with Kestama and all of that, a delegation even went before the president. We were discussing yesterday the Minister of Foreign Affairs who spoke at the Chatham House. And even before then, there was a Commonwealth reception, and there was a delegation also from Nigeria. I don't know whether those ones that went for Commonwealth, whether they have returned. Maybe they are staying back. Maybe they are staying back to be part of this, reception for the president. But whatever it is, we should be more interested in concrete outcomes, not MOUs that they will sign and they will put in the wardrobe in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it will gather dust. Then another president will come in the future, and then that president too will go to UK.
Yeah.
They will sign another MOU. Then when our children become governors in the various states, they will invite Nigerians again. They will sign another MOU. Because oftentimes all these agreements, all these MOUs we sign just gather dust. We're looking for action, follow-ups, follow-throughs, results.
Absolutely. Tangible outcomes is the name of the game here. But now let's head to Maiduguri, because online a lot of people were talking about the tragedy where a lot of people woke up across the state this morning in fear after several suspected suicide bomb blasts on Monday evening killed 23 people and wounded 146. Now, in a statement out overnight, the Borno Public Relations Officer Nahum Kenneth Daso confirmed the latest numbers, with videos emerging online showing the aftermath of some of the explosions at the entrance of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital and two local markets known as Post Office and Monday Market. And what we're seeing on social media is honestly just devastating. The panic of innocent citizens, health workers carrying bodies to hospitals, and this overarching fear that their community just isn't safe. Let's watch.
Subhanallah, again, bomb Monday Market in Zaka presenting. Subhanallah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Bakin wajen security, wajen inda ake checkpoint na security. Wannan kike gani.
But as videos emerged laying out the fear and the panic, videos also emerged almost simultaneously of the security response. According to police, after the explosions, a team of tactical units and military moved in quickly to the affected areas. They conducted sweep operations, and we have video of those sweep operations. We should pull those up for you shortly. Tanks were seen moving through the community, and meanwhile, the Borno State governor, Babagana Zulum, condemned the explosion in a statement, saying that the recent surge in attacks is not unconnected to recent military operations against the insurgents. And I'll pull up a tweet now from someone on X, his name was Void, who wrote, 23 Nigerians went to Monday Market, walked past a hospital gate and crossed a flyover on an ordinary Monday evening in Maiduguri. They didn't survive. Maiduguri has buried its dead, rebuilt its markets, and sent its children to school through 16 consecutive years of attacks that no other Nigerian city has been asked to absorb for this long. The resilience of this city is one of the most under-documented stories in modern Nigeria. The failure to match that resilience with consistent security is one of the most over-documented ones. Rest in peace to every soul lost tonight. And Rufai, I'll come to you on this story because that last tweet kind of just laid out the amount of just crisis that the state has endured. People still live there, but where do they go from here?
The question we should ask the state, and not only this government, but successive government, is 16, 17 years down the line, since Mohammed Yusuf's case, what they said was the start of Boko Haram, why have we not been able to solve the problem of insecurity? Why is it that 16 years afterwards, it has gained traction, it has gained momentum, it has not abated? If you cast your mind back, these were the things the APC said Jonathan was incompetent for. They called him names. In fact, they said Buhari, being a general, will flush out insecurity in no time. They converted February to February. Yes. They said February is February. Love Buhari. Buhari was a hero of some sorts in this country. APC was the messiah of some sorts that was coming to deliver us from incompetence. But when you check the records today, it looks as though Jonathan did a good job. Can we even say they have been able to match the extent Jonathan did? If you go and check Vice's website, there's a documentary Vice did on Strike Force 82, the embedded team with the mercenaries. How they were able to clear parts of Borno before the elections in 2015. Today, we are seeing killings. Yes, the APC will argue that there were so many places that Boko Haram has raised its flags, but when they came, they cleared it out. When is this going to stop? We've talked about complicity. We've talked about Woro. Till today, we don't know the fate of the people in Woro. Will the government pay ransom as alleged by some foreign newspaper again? What will happen to those people? And it's not only Borno now, it's spread every part of the country. That Americans have to intervene. So the question is, as the president goes on the state visit anyway, I've said it many times, that if a thing like this happens, the president should be on ground, should be monarch-in-chief.
And to your point, I think, Iowa, before you were mentioning that the president put out a statement on...
yeah, he did.
You see, isn't it shocking that putting out a statement that become a badge of honor of incompetence? Because we keep putting out statements, does this solve the problem? Ayo, I've not seen the statement, but I can predict that the statement will go after the perpetrators of this act.
Yeah.
Did they write it there?
He did say that they were going to go against terrorism, but he first of all identified with the people, talked about the tragedy.
So they will go after the perpetrators.
Yes.
Can I ask you, Ayo, honestly?
They'll be brought to justice.
They'll be brought to justice.
Because government is on top of the situation.
Yeah, always.
And then he highlighted the fact that he sent his security chiefs to Maiduguri.
Can we go back to all the statements that have been written and look for those three faces? Government is on top, will bring them to justice. Do they ever get to justice? We are seeing the DSS, yes, they said they are trying some people in court. But the people that did the Woro one, did they ever see justice? The people that did the KB one, have they seen justice? So because we bring one or two of them, does it mean they ever get to justice? Those that are collecting ransom, that some foreign media are claiming that the government paid ransom to, do they ever get justice? So we will see that trajectory. In fact, it's become a reflection of our incompetence every time we write those statements. We'll send the service chief. Yes, security chief. He's the security chief who voted for on the ballot. He's the one that promised to give Nigeria security. Send the vice president. It's the vice president we voted for on the ballots. He's the one that promised. He's the one that come out for mandates. Today, very soon now, next year, January, before now, they will start campaigning asking for mandates. They will still tell you they will end insecurity. They will bring us statistics and say they've killed this number of bandits and terrorists, but the insecurity improves. So as at that time when he's campaigning, is the vice president that we are voting for, Abi?
Can I just say, sorry, very quickly, that this issue of insecurity, every time there's an election cycle coming up, it is one of the main or key campaign promises made by candidates. And unfortunately, in the last over a decade that this menace has continued, particularly in the Northeast, we haven't seen appreciable solution to this challenge. And we've heard a lot of things that people have said. It almost seems as if there's an understanding of the problem, there's an understanding of what must be done to end the problem, but there's no will to do it. We've talked about the fact that we know where these people are, we know who the funders are, we will get them, we know how they're operating. So what is where do we bridge the gap?
Right.
Where do we bridge that gap? Because it's very...
If there's will, if there's political will, to remove certificate forgery from the electoral law as a basis to challenge election after you had a case in the Supreme Court in the last election. If there's will to remove certificate forgery and there's no will to end insecurity, then we are jokers in this nation.
For fairness, let me just state some of the highlights of the president's, because I think it's important. Earlier I'd said that we hadn't seen a response. He posted around 11 a.m. on his X account, signed personally by him, not from a spokesperson. He sympathized with them. He said that these acts of terror are final, desperate and frantic attempts by criminals and terrorist elements trying to instill and spread fear. He ended that statement with saying that we will not, or Nigeria will not succumb to fear. He added some of the efforts he had made, that last weekend he had a security meeting. We talked about that security meeting here with leaders of security. He's approved additional equipment and operational support to enhance their capabilities, service chiefs to go to Maiduguri to take charge of the situation. Again, these are not new things that we haven't seen yet. But so the thing is that Nigerians have heard enough. I'm particularly sad because earlier I mentioned that Maiduguri had experienced relative peace in recent times. At some point, that Monday market was a target for suicide bombing, terrorist attacks, because it's a key hub. It's a key hub in Maiduguri. And so to imagine that the work that has been done by our security agents, by Operation Hadinkai, is being eroded by this action is very sad. Because the people of Maiduguri had actually started, going back, living life at least to what it was before the terrorist attack. They praised the governor himself, Professor Zulum, for having done a lot of work. They praised the Nigerian military. So it's sad to see that the number of years of what they've been able to achieve in that region is eroded by these 3 coordinated attacks. Very sad. And so we are not yet out of the woods yet. And we need to see, not just hear, the government's commitment to ending insecurity. They know the problems. They know where they are. What we now need is a political will to fix it and for them to actually do the job.
And a common thread in all of this is just the need for tangible outcomes. And of course, rest in peace to everyone who lost their lives in this incredibly tragic bomb blast. Now to the war in Iran and its impact on Nigeria and Nigerians, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Monday revealing that they're now working on the administrative process to figure out how to evacuate Nigerians stranded across the Middle East, as the war in Iran doesn't appear to have an end in sight. And as the government determines how to release money to bring those Nigerians home, we're also seeing members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, also known as Shiites, staging massive protests across different cities here in Nigeria to express their support for Iran. Now, in new trending videos, crowds gathered to mark the last Friday of Ramadan from Abuja to Kano, all denouncing the US and Israel while expressing solidarity for Iran. Let's watch. Now, we've covered, these videos, these protests before on What's Trending, but members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, as I said, they've staged a number of protests, but as we see, they're gathering massive in-person crowds, and what really stands out is the range of ages of the men in these protests, and this idea that there's a transfer of ideology and beliefs from one generation to the next ion. You were saying, we don't really see these kinds of mass protests for a lot of other, Nigerian causes. So what's behind this popularity for Iran?
You can understand that because the Shiite Muslims in Nigeria ideologically are linked to, to Iran, the Ayatollah, as the leader of Shiite Muslims around the world. But I think it's also important for us. I remember when this case of protest started, not at this large, on this large scale, one of the things we had asked was that for security agents to ensure that they were able to manage this so it doesn't escalate. It's like a combustible environment that any small spark can cause a reaction, a very deadly reaction in some cases. Number one is that these people who are marching and protesting, we have bigger issues back home. Let me just be real. They are bigger. We just talked about 23 people dying and hundreds of people being injured in the Northeast. Are they as concerned about fixing what's going on back home? Then I think it's also there's a thin line between expressing your right to freedom of expression and right to peaceful protest. And also, because whether you like it or not, some people in Nigeria support the Trump administration. Imagine if they also came out to start their own protest. It would just be chaotic. So it's important that in expressing rights and freedom, there's also common sense and a measure of restraint. And I believe that the Nigerian state should handle this before it gets out of hand. Anyone can go and protest for or against what they believe in, but it must be done in such a way that it will not hit up the polity. Right. I think national security above a number of these things that people are doing, because we've seen people come out to protest for things that are not as inflammatory as this, and they are held or arrested, charged to court, and we see people marching and burning effigies of a man that has a number of support. And don't forget, Nigeria also has a very good relationship with the United States of America. We cannot discount these things.
Right.
So it looks like fun and games, expression of rights, but we must be able to know when a joke is when things are taken too far, or just on the edge of something that could potentially be more dangerous. I think security agents should step in now and bring some common sense, and let us be more passionate about things that are back home. And Nigeria first, let us have the culture of that, deal with our issues, and let the superpowers or the powers that be deal with the issues in the Middle East. What is more important for us is how that war is affecting us in Nigeria. We're talking about the cost of fuel, we're talking about oil prices, we're talking about the cost of living. Those are the things that we should come out to talk about and encourage our government to do something to protect the lives of the ordinary Nigerians. This thing, I don't know to what extent, but I believe that the security agents should take this as a matter of national security. It's very important. It can spark up anyway, anyhow. What if the Trump supporters come out to and say, okay, we want to burn effigies? Right. It doesn't make any sense.
And you provided the perfect segue to, talk about issues that affect us here at home, because here in Lagos, a man has sparked conversation and anger online after sharing his own experience at a local petrol station, claiming that he was overcharged. Now, in a video that started circulating this morning, the man requests for 20,000 naira worth, but notice that the meter was already at 5,501 naira before they started filling his tank. Now, unknown to the attendants, the entire incident was being recorded. Let's watch.
I'm wearing glasses that record. This world did not start at zero. This world did not start at zero, like I said.
Immediately we picked it. Immediately we picked the notes to clear off. Let me show you. See?
I don't want to see it. I'm seeing what I need to see. I'm seeing what I need to see. I'm seeing what I need to see. Like, I don't want to hear anyone calls for the attention. Anyone call for my attention.
To check the meter, right?
Yeah, to check it. No one, see, as long as no one even call my attention, I know what I'm saying. I don't. Man, this thing is elongating. This thing, I have school.
Sorry, sir. The mistake she did was not calling your attention to it.
That's not from my end. That's not from my end.
Well, she said from 0 0.
I don't know. I don't know. I understand she made a mistake. That's not my mistake. If she really made a mistake, I started from 0 0. I understand. If you made, that's not my mistake. I don't know.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, but I'm not. I want to fall. Like, it's not my mistake. Because when I looked at that thing, that thing was 8,000 to 9,000. No one had called. How can I be paying? And I'm looking back, someone's already going for. That's not happened before. 3 people are not dealt with, for two people are not dealt with, it's just one person. I'm paying. The person will now say, what? I understand. Can I just get this for please? So I can start heading to school. Like the food system.
Now, this incident underscores a lot of ongoing concerns about transparency at some of these petrol stations, especially as prices really fluctuate across the country. But this has sparked, discussion online about ethics, oversight, the need for stricter enforcement to protect drivers. And personally, I think it's news you can use because now, Dr. Abati, I'll be checking the fuel meter before they fill up my car. I mean, what's going on?
Well, this is not new. It's just that people have become more desperate in the face of the crisis in the Middle East, which has affected all of us globally. You go to some stations, sometimes their pump is not working very well. So what it just calls for is ethics, is vigilance. Vigilance on the part of the buyer. The caveat emptor is buyer beware. There is even no guarantee that they will still not cheat you. And, part of the vigilance is knowing which station, sells honestly and which are the other ones where the attendants cut corners. There used to be, in this country, I don't know whether that department is still working, a weights and measurements department, which was a section in the NNPC, as it then was. They used to go around to all these petrol stations to go and check and insist on standards. But again, everybody is so distracted now that they don't know, what they should do. But the bigger picture, particularly speaking to the people who are standing on flags of Israel and the United States, or the people who are protesting, and you are all wondering what is happening, why are we affected? The truth of the matter is that for as long as that Strait of Hormuz is partially closed or completely shut down, the whole world will be affected. Now, it also speaks to the nature of war. And that's why, I think that one of the things that our security agencies that you mentioned should do is to begin to investigate these issues, not just read them from an ideological prism or emotional perspective. Suppose these persons are being sponsored from outside. Suppose they have connections with certain cells, certain groups in Iran or in the satellite allies, states, supporting Iran, and then they bring it back here to Nigeria, because it looks like Iran is using a strategy of defiance that is different from conventional war, the kind of conventional war described by Sun Tzu in chapter 3 of that famous book, The Art of War. Chapter 3 of Sun Tzu's book is titled The Art of War, where, you just meet each other and then you work out a strategy. Iran is using a different kind of strategy, which is closer to Thucydides' explanation in a book titled The Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta. And what is the big argument here? The big argument is that, look, usually a superior power fighting a smaller power will think, oh, we are better, we have military might, we will just crush you in a matter of days. The kind of thing that Trump was saying. Trump just walked into the Thucydides trap. The war has not stopped now, and the war now has included the whole world. Look at the whole of the Middle East. Iran has used a strategy that has involved everybody. The war, if we're not careful, will even come to our doorstep here in Nigeria with certain persons in the country behaving in a provocative manner. So this is not the kind of war that Trump will just think we can go there and we just solve the matter. Now there are flashpoints all over the world, and he's now calling for help. One of the subjects we have discussed this morning is asking NATO to come. He is asking EU to come.
Right.
He is asking other countries to come and help him. This is the nature of war. When it starts, you don't know when it will end. Even the person who started it will not know how it will end.
Right.
For us in Nigeria here, apart from all these demonstrations by people who don't even understand the subject, I think that we still have to resolve the question of what will Nigeria do for its people. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says they are going to bring people back home.
Right.
Already, I think NIDCOM already put out information that they are already taking willing Nigerians through the Armenian border, but willing Nigerians, those who are ready to leave because of Nigerians, even if World War III starts,
they
will say we will die here together as Nigerians say.
But it means that even a war zone abroad is better than coming back home.
That's
why it's sad.
According to some people.
When we wanted to evacuate people from Ukraine at the time, you know, some people refused to leave. They said they would rather be in Ukraine than come to Nigeria.
Exactly.
If you go to Gaza, I'm sure you'll find some Nigerians still hanging around.
Okay, we have to move because we're running out of time, but it's not all bad news today because we'll take our good news report. We're in a full circle moment. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu reconnected with two young girls he met during a chance encounter 4 years ago. At the time, the girls were out of school, but today they're speaking about how education changed their lives. Now, this story began in 2022 when, on his way to an official function, Governor Sanwo-Olu met Abubakar Salat and Amarachi Chinedu running errands when they were supposed to be in school. Now, from that moment, the governor ensured that they were enrolled in school by supporting their education. Well, at an event launch of the Lagos Education Access Fund last week, the girls spoke about their encounter with the governor and how their life's journey was forever changed from that moment years ago. Let's take a look at their story.
How old are you? 12. How old are you? 9. So where you go? You're going to grind pepper for your parents there. Where do they stay? Anthony.
Mr. Governor, sir, we are deeply grateful for the chance you gave us and for ensuring that every child, no matter their background, deserves the opportunity to learn.
We stand here today not only to thank you, but to represent children whose lives will be transformed by this program.
Sir, your action has shown that when leaders invest in education, they invest in the future of society.
What an incredible moment. The governor also announced the launch of the state's $25 million education fund to ensure that 50,000 out-of-school kids will be enrolled in basic education. And Ayo, very quickly, you said that you were there. It was an emotional moment for the governor.
I saw actual tears. So the backstory behind is that the governor was surprised. He had not seen those girls after that video in many years, even though he had committed to funding their education. So it was great to see them years after, because he was talking about how they were so small the day he saw them and how people had accused him of doing it as a publicity stunt. But he was moved by compassion when he saw two young girls who were supposed to be in school, as you can see on screen, and he stopped, and it actually triggered the Project Zero campaign in Lagos State, where they were working on getting out of school children out. Now, based on that project, Lagos State was able to attract partnership and funding up to $25 million. Now, as part of that launch ceremony, they arranged to bring the girls on stage to talk, and they thanked him, appreciated him for giving them an opportunity. People were in tears. The governor himself was so moved, he was so emotive. He came on stage, hugged them, assured them that he would now make a deliberate effort to be a part of their lives and really sponsor them. It was a beautiful, sweet spot story.
Yes. And
sometimes you just see leadership or humanity in leadership, and I'm glad that we're able to show this today.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to Lagos State, and also $25 million coming into the state towards education.
Absolutely. Education is key, and that is incredible. Lagos State, kudos to you. Now, under Milestones, with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the country celebrating Enugu State Governor Peter Mba on his 54th birthday, which is today, March 17. Now, in a statement, the president congratulated him for his state's progress and his own personal commitment to constitutional democracy. Now, born in 1972 and originally from Owo in Kano East local government area of the state, Mba is a maritime lawyer and a former private sector executive who founded Pinnacle Oil and Gas before venturing into politics. Now, since being elected to office in 2023, Mba has made his mark by pursuing an ambitious plan to grow Enugu's economy from $4.4 billion to $30 billion through private sector investment, infrastructure, and innovation-driven reforms. Now, the president also highlighted the governor's governor's collaborative nature and his willingness to engage with other leaders in the Southeast for regional development. Yay, from all of us at Arise, we wish the governor a very happy 54th birthday as he continues to position his state as a hub for the future of investment and innovation. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Governor of Enugu State. Happy birthday.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Just before we go, some people are circulating something now that President Trump
It's false. It's
has
false.
written that
It's false.
Abi?
It's fake. It's fake.
Because I thought...
Yes.
Like if I fell for it this morning,
Yes.
when I just saw the tweet, but the Truth Social is fake.
Yeah.
It's fake.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fake. It's fake.
That's better.
You didn't really think about it.
Thank you all for your great analysis today. I appreciate it.